What's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Play Up Legendary. There's 3 hat throws for our guest today. Right off the bat, just for being who he is. My friends, welcome to Wake Up Legendary. In my opinion, the greatest, realest, rawest marketing and business show on earth. Why? Because we interview, our actual clients, actual marketers, who have started from nothing, most of whom, or many of whom, never did digital marketing before this or before they started their career here with the skills they learned from Legendary. And today's guest is no different. This gentleman is a veteran. He is a dad. He's a husband. He's a family man. He's somebody who has a phenomenal story and is also a 4-time returning guest here on the show. So we're going to get both his story, but also mostly focus on what he's done now and what he's been doing over the course of the last, 6 to 12 months, or since the last time he was on the show, to continue to get results. Specifically, one thing, getting tons of results without ever speaking in his videos. Dave, what are you talking about? Well, we're going to hear exactly what I'm talking about. With that being said, Sean Sarantos, welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show, bro.
I bought a hat just for this, just for today.
Attaboy.
How you doing, Dave?
I'm double hatting it up, man. I'm
one on any more hats.
Remember the rally caps? And did you ever play baseball with the rally caps where
and it just stacks up?
Yeah, you just like grab a second hat, or you do this deal right here, you put it on, and it's like, you're rallying. So we don't need to rally, man. We're not coming from behind. You're crushing it. We're excited to hear about that. I know I am personally. I would assume everybody else listening is as well. Take us back, just for those who don't know, like, who you are and what you're doing now, which I'd love to focus on the majority of the episode today. But what got you into all of this in the first place?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I was doing electrical line work when I first even came across this, and just doing like 80-hour weeks, working on power lines, going in volts. I thought it was a safe bet. I went into it because it was supposed to be making good money, which it did. But I started building my family during that time, and I started realizing that I was just not seeing my family, not seeing my wife, not seeing my kid. And I needed to start doing something that at least freed up some time, right? Because if you want to make more money, I had to give more time. So I had to try to counterbalance that and try to find something that could make me money, but free up time. You know what? Surprisingly, I wasn't even looking for anything. I was just using social media to escape reality, and something popped up where I saw a video of a mom, and she was like, I'm a mom of 1,200 and I make, 6 figures and stuff like that. And I mean, like anyone else, you look at those videos and you're just like, whatever. It's saying everything that I want. Like, it must be a scam. It must be not real, right? I saw it a few times, and then just one day I had a really, really crappy day during lunch, and I saw that video again pop up. And I was like, whatever. I'll just see what it's about, right? So I click on it, and I went through the 15-day challenge, and it just made sense. Like, things made sense, right? Like, I didn't feel like I was just like, well, where's the trick? Where's the turn? For me, it was more along the lines of, that makes sense. I'm in the funnel right now. I'm learning the thing right now. So in that case, it just was just like, what do I have to lose? Obviously I'm in something right now that what I thought was my strength has got me to my weakness, right? Like, I'm in my weakest state. So what do I have to lose? And that was kind of the first step forward. And everything that I did from there on out was, hey, what do I have to lose? Like, I have a job. I'm obviously searching for answers. If I don't do this, it's not like I'm going to stop searching for answers. I'm going to look for the next thing. So I just stuck with it, kept pushing forward. And man, it has been, I'll hit 2 years. March 1st will be my 2-year mark. And I just told Joanne, last month was my best month ever with Legendary. And I'm 2 years into this.
Mm.
So it has been quite the journey. And yeah, I mean, I'll just keep on piggybacking as we talk, but
Yeah.
it's just been up and down, and I can't believe how quickly it's gone, honestly. It's
Yeah.
like that.
It's like it's took a long time to get here, yet it goes by so fast. Took a lot of hard work, took a lot of dedication, but yet
Yeah.
it's like, holy crap, I'm in my new career now. Has
Yeah.
that really sunk in that you are now a full-time, this is your career, or does it still all feel like a side hustle like we so often say on the you
Well, you know what the funny thing is? It doesn't feel like a career.
know?
Like, okay, so my last one felt like a career because I clocked in, I clocked out, I had my good days and my bad days, and I was looking forward to stuff, and then I wasn't looking forward to stuff. Look, I just wake up. I wake up when I want to wake up. I go to sleep when I want to go to sleep. And for me, I don't see it as career because as long as I build habits that allow me to make sure that I'm doing what I need to do for that day, then it doesn't fit the criteria for what a career is to me. You know what I
Mm,
mean? And
mm,
I think if I start looking at it as a career, that's when I start not having fun with it. And
interesting.
I need to look at this as something like, hey, I have the opportunity to do something awesome today. And as
Mm,
long as I stick to my habits, then I know that I'm gonna at least reach my minimum.
nice.
The thing that I have to say is, can I go above what I did? Can I do better than what I did yesterday? If I can, great. That's the challenge for the day. But it's not
Mm,
my career. My career is my kids. And this gives me, well, then I put that negative career on the kids, right? No, my life is my kids. This gives me my chance for my family. I don't know. Like it just doesn't feel like a career. I don't put those words together or the feeling that I had with a career. It's not the same.
yeah, you associate that more with work that you don't
Yeah.
want to do, whereas this
Yeah.
is lifestyle, and you've designed a new life and a new lifestyle and integrated your work or
Yep.
how you make money into your life. And I like that.
Exactly.
I've done the same thing, and I try to make it where, you can't really tell whether I'm working or whether I'm hanging out and playing, having personal time. Those two things kind of integrate together, and
Yeah.
that's a beautiful thing. Um, so, I love also how you pointed out that, if this didn't work out, I would still be searching for the next thing. So it's not, that's a great perspective, because it allows you to take more responsibility for the outcome and not put so much of the emphasis on the course or the guru or whatever the thing is that you're doing. You're the difference maker. And if you don't follow through with this and make it work, you don't put in the work, um, because obviously other people are succeeding with this, and it's not just
Mhm.
one or two. And it's not even just people in Legendary. We didn't invent this. We're just have a community and are teaching it. Affiliate marketing, creating courses, coaching, doing events, selling information has been a business since the dawn of time. I
Yeah.
mean, how many of you, raise your hand, have a college degree? How many of you, have paid for a book before? So you would be off to the next thing trying it. Why not settle in? Why not follow through with this? Sounds like it was kind of your mindset. And was that always your mindset? I mean, did you at one time have a pattern of starting things and not finishing them or following through?
Yeah. I mean, that's what got me to where I was, right? And don't get me wrong, like I didn't try something for a month and then quit, right? Like I did the military and I did it for 8 years and then I tried something new. And then I did fitness and I did it for 7 years and then I tried something new. And then I did, electrical line work and I did it for 4 years and then I tried something new. And keep in mind, I didn't just quit it and then try something new. I learned something while I was in it, and then it let me transition into something new. But yeah, I mean, regardless if, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's 2 months or 2 years. I kept on going to something new, thinking that that would be the answer, that someone else's solution would be the answer to my problems.
Mm,
And what this one gave me, what this gave me was I didn't look to someone else to be the solution to my problem. It allowed me to become the solution to my problems. It allowed me to take control of it because everything that I had before had a chain of command. And I would have a problem, and I would go up the chain of command and be like, I'm having a problem. Can you help me fix it? I can't see my wife and everything like that. Can I take time off? Like, you're the problem solver. And now I was putting myself in a position that says, look, someone can help guide me, but they're not my problem solver. Dave's not my problem solver. The course isn't my problem solver. It's just a guide to help me hopefully solve the problem. It's going to give me the solution to my problems, right? So that allowed me to finally take control. And now, look, if I'm in this position now and I decide to give this up and go somewhere else, I can't blame it on my work schedule. I can't blame it on a boss or employees that I didn't like. Now it's like, hey, if you're going to leave this and go back to that life, your fault. Like, deal with it, fess up to it, because now you're in the position where it's all on you. And that's great, because if I succeed, guess what? It's all on me. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's much, much different than it is now. Now I'm not only the problem solver, like everything falls on my shoulders, and I can either be the reason why I succeed or the reason why I fail. And I can't point the finger at Dave. You know what I mean? So I like that. I like that a lot. It's a lot of stress and it's a lot of stuff to put on your shoulders. But man, when you go through the struggles and you can tell yourself that you actually did that thing and succeeded,
yeah,
it rolls you over for like another day, another month, another year.
And what has it done for your confidence? I mean, you're already a guy, who, when one would see you, for those of you who haven't met Sean in person, you can tell he's a beefcake just from the video.
I'm 4'10", a $150 wet,
total, stud. But I'm also big and strong on the outside, but can have been in the past, lacking confidence, have had insecurities, have had low self-esteem. I mean, I know what this has done for me. What has that being in the driver's seat, having the ability to change your destiny, having the ability to follow through? I mean, all the things, what has this done for your confidence and your self-esteem in you?
Well, I mean, I feel like it actually instilled it, because like you had said before, look, I mean, as men, as fathers, as husbands, we're supposed to be this, right? And if we don't internally feel like it, then we're just putting on a facade. We're just putting on an image, and it breaks us down if we don't internally actually believe that we are this thing, right? So what this did was it allowed me to get put into a position that said, hey, this is what you show the world, but are you actually truly this, right? And slowly but surely, I started doing those building blocks to fill those gaps. Like, I can lift weights and I can act tough and be tough, but am I crying in the closet? You know what I mean? Am I having a breakdown in the parking lot? So this allowed me to fill the cracks that were happening in the armor that I thought that I had on, right? And the confidence level is through the roof. Now it's not, I need to show up and act confident because people are depending on me. And it's like, no, now I'm confident. Now I'm like, hey, especially when it comes to people that want to know about this stuff, especially in the beginning where you don't know if this is truly the thing that you're even doing. You don't know. Right? So when a person says, well, why should I trust you? Why should I believe in you? Be like, oh, I mean, I'll say whatever you want me to say. Where now it's like, you're no different than so-and-so. Why should I trust you? Why? You shouldn't. You shouldn't trust me. All I'm doing is I'm trying to show you that's something that worked for me. I can guide it to you. I can show you the way. But at the end of the day, your feet have to walk. And if you don't want to trust me, don't. But at least ask me questions. Don't just not trust me because you have a feeling. Ask me questions. There's nothing that I have to hide. And that's the great thing about it. I don't rely on that person to build my life. And when they don't have control over it, when I have full control, I mean, like, I get to go ahead and just have a conversation and say, let's see where it goes. Like, everything's here. I have nothing to hide. So the confidence level is through the roof, because that can roll over into any other aspect of your life, all aspects of your life. It doesn't have to deal with this. I don't just go like, digital marketing confidence. It's like, no, I'm going to go into the gym and I don't care about what people think when I lift a certain weight. And I don't care if I grunt. I don't care if I do this. Or it goes into just going out with the wife. You know what I mean? And making sure that I feel like a damn good husband and I'm a good looking guy. And I'm like, that's my wife. We're together. You know what I mean? Like it just rolls over into so much stuff. And when it rolls over into all aspects of your life, you walk with your shoulders back and your chest out and you feel damn good about yourself. You know what I mean? And I don't think anyone truly understands how that feels until they're actually in that situation, you know? And before, like I said, I was an empty shell and it was just like, oh, open the door, stick the chest out. But when people weren't looking, I was hunched over. And I'm like, man, I'm fake. Like this sucks. I need to do something, you know?
Man, I can relate to that. I mean, obviously starting this a year after getting clean from my addiction at 24 years old, I was an empty shell as well. And there was obviously some additional outside help I needed to get. And if any of you listening need to get that outside help, don't be ashamed to get it, whether it's a recovery program, whether you're struggling with addiction, whether you need therapy, heal yourself. And once you're on the path of healing, once you're on the path of able to like have a foundation for me meant not using drugs or alcohol. For me, that was just my foundation. For you, it might be something totally different, but that was my foundation. Once I had my foundation, then I could build on it. Then I could actually introduce a business. I could introduce entrepreneurship. I could introduce digital marketing, and I could fail forward and experience those challenges, those struggles, those hurdles without spiraling out of control back into my old self-destructive ways. I could say, okay, all marketing's just a test. Okay, I'm listening to other people who are going through the same challenges. What are some of the other things? I mean, for example, it might have been setting boundaries with friends or family, or it might have been unfollowing people online. It might have been, having tough conversations with spouse. What are some of the things behind the scenes that we wouldn't know that you've had to do to get to where you're at?
I mean, I've said it in posts as well, is when you start having any kind of morsel of success, you're going to find out how small your circle actually gets, right? My inner circle has shrunk so much because now it's given me the confidence to look at the people around me and say, man, do I want you in my life? Or did I need you in my life at that time? You know what I mean? So now it's only people that I want. Yes. Now it's only people that I want in my life. And that's a huge thing too, because once again, when you put that out into the world, what you're going to get is you're going to get a lot of blowback, and you're going to be like, that's not a flex. Having a small circle and no friends isn't a flex. And it's like, yeah, you don't understand how much of a flex it actually is. You don't know how strong that is because you haven't reflected on what you're using your friends for. You know what I mean? And the same thing happened when I had any kind of ounce of success. The same people that were telling me, is it a scam? Did you get hacked? Like, what is this? It sounds stupid. Are the same people that reach out to me a year later going like, so what is it, man? I knew you were going to kill it, dude. I knew you were going to kill it. You're like, I always believed in you. And I'm like, okay. Like, I got receipts, man. You know what I mean? Like, the receipts are there. And at the end of the day, it's just you have to understand just how much this is all only on you. And in the beginning, what I did was I followed all the people that were doing better than me. And I tried to look for them for inspiration and all that stuff. And what I found out was I was looking at like the things that I thought I was doing for inspiration ended up being the thing that kept me down even more, because what started off as inspiration slowly became comparison. And it was just like, I can't keep doing this. So when I started unfollowing everyone and putting everything on me and myself, and noticing that my weaknesses were what I had to were what I had to drown myself in. My strengths got me to my weakest point. I said that earlier. Like everyone's going like, go for your strength. No, don't. If you go, your strengths got you to looking for answers. All my weaknesses were the thing that I had to surround myself with. So I had to unfollow people, right? And I had to put more pressure on myself and jump into the blueprints and realistically look at all the things that I sucked at and said, I'm not good with words. So I need to surround my entire feed with accounts that deal with words, only words, right? Mindset, faith, whatever deals with words. And I need to see what words make me feel a certain way, right? And keep in mind, like I said, I'm in almost 2 years now. I'm having my best months. Why? Because I consistently walk away from something to jump into another weakness, right? And I have to go like, yeah, I had a great month. I can continue going on, but I feel like I'm getting stagnant. So I got to walk away and jump into another weakness and make that my strength. And then before I know it, man, like it's just all my weaknesses start becoming my strengths. You know what I mean? And it just gives me another thing to talk to a person about where like, I don't want to show my face. I don't want to talk. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And it's like, yeah, me too. But I do it now.
Yeah.
Well, why? Well, how'd you do it? Because it was weakness. Now it's a strength. Now I can hold that over. So one of the biggest things that I did from beginning to now is everything that I was scared to do, I just did it. It didn't mean that was going to become who I was, right? But I just did it just to know that I could do it, because then you can hold that over. Do I like talking? Obviously, like I like talking to you. It doesn't, but I don't do it because I knew that words were my weakness. It doesn't mean that I can't go right back into talking, right? I can do whatever I want to do, right? Where other people feel like they're pigeonholed into saying, I can only do this because that's all I know. Yeah, that's all you know because you never dipped your toes in the water, So my biggest thing for anyone that's doing this stuff here, stop trying to go for your strengths. Like really, you don't have to do like me. You don't have to burn the boats, all right? Like I don't recommend that. I hate that I do that. It's just my mentality. But I would say at least say that you're going to do something for 2 weeks and do it. You know what I mean? Like try it. You never know what you actually might fall in love with.
Yeah. And I love that. That brings me to, kind of what you're doing now that's working. Paul says, and by the way, thank you all for the amazing comments. Well deserved for Sean. They're just blowing up. The affirmations coming in for you, the love, the
thank you,
recognition of your growth, of where your head is at. You're speaking when somebody talks on one of these long form shows, you can really see where they're at. That's the beauty of long form, of interviews, of why podcasts I think are so popular nowadays, is because, you get a chance to listen to the real heart and mind of the man or woman, and you get to hear where they're really at. Are they really who they say they are? And I can tell with you the amount of growth that you've had. The amount of self-awareness that you have is solely and only because of you've done the things that you're talking about. For example, I'm hearing this loud and clear, and I hope everybody else is. Do the things that are hard. Do the things that you're not good at. You were crystal clear. I was not good with words. It was difficult for me to talk into the camera. That's what you mean, right? It was difficult for me to come up with the things to say, to articulate myself.
Yep.
It not only could I not identify what I was feeling, and videos helped me to do that. It helped me to understand who I was as a person. What am I feeling right now? But also it gave me language that I could model, that I could hear other people using language and that's how we learn, friends. We learn as much or more from listening and watching others as somebody just teaching us. So it's important. It's one of the reasons why this community is so powerful, is because we have curriculum. You mentioned that, going in there, going through the training. You mentioned the 15-day challenge. You mentioned the blueprints, getting those foundational concepts. Then, like we've always done since we were babies, watching other people walk, I learned to walk. Watching and hearing other people talk, I learned to talk. That's how we learn. And I'm hearing you, own your most vulnerable learning experiences, which were the simple fact that you didn't have the words to say what you wanted to say. And in recognizing that, you didn't run from that. You didn't start by doing voiceless videos. I know, because I've watched you for 2 years and I've seen videos where you've talked on and on and on and on. I've also watched you speak from stage, our stage. I've watched you communicate on this show long form now 4 or 5 times. So you've worked on that and gotten better at that. And now, after all that time of facing those things and working on those things that were scary and that were hard for you, you found this unique little strategy of voiceless videos. And I want to tell you a story before we get into this. My dad, went through a really challenging health issue last year and had open heart surgery, needed a new aortic valve and a triple bypass, and he had complications. And he was in the hospital for like 88 days. He almost died. He's my best friend. That really hurt, and that was really scary. And so now he's out. He's doing better. He still needs to put on a little bit of weight. His lungs are still a little weak. He got pretty bad COPD, but he's back. He's alive. He's working on stuff. He's back to for the most part, his old self. And part of that includes the boy likes to scroll on social media. Okay. The boy gets him a little scoliosis going. That thumb show does work with that boy. And one day he sends me stuff. He sent me one of your videos. And I said, do you know who this guy is? No, I have no idea. Just like the video. Just sent it. Really? So your video went viral went on my dad's timeline. And I thought, wow, how cool is that, man? And so talk to us about this journey of facing your weaknesses, of talking on video and being on camera and all that, to now the strategy that you've used a lot that may be helpful for some other people to hear, which is getting tons and tons and tons of views without saying anything in your videos.
One of the biggest reasons why I even went into wanting to focus on the writing, it wasn't because, obviously I wanted to get better with it, right? But to me, it was just another way for me to show people that the education worked, right? Because the thing that I kept on getting was people just promote this to promote a course. And I'm like, great, okay, fine. Like, I'll show you that this works. I'll show it to you, right? So I focused on specific skills that were very high paying. So copywriting, email campaigns, things like that. That's what I wanted to focus on. And I wanted to be able to do it to say, I didn't make money doing it. Like, I don't want to have to do the money claim to say that this works. I can literally say, look at my content, look at my results, look at the traffic, and I have created contracts from this. Because now a company, look, I have contracts with Costco, Cottonelle, Pull-Ups from my TikTok that I do voiceless content on. Why? Because they like the image and then they like the message. And I can go ahead and do that for them, and it doesn't require anything. It doesn't require my face being the center of attention. It doesn't require me using my voice. So what I was able to do was I was just able to say, look at my content and look at the engagement that I get. That has nothing to do with money on my end. I'm good at what I do. And then people, if you're good at what you do, people will reach out and say, I would like for you to teach me that skill. I would like to pay you to teach me that skill. Or better yet, the reason why I'm having such a great month is, where did you learn that skill? Oh, it just so happens that I wouldn't have even known this skill existed if I didn't follow this path. So I tell people, the biggest reasons why I do this is to show you can create content that you really, really enjoy, that makes you unique, and it doesn't have to be centered around just talking about a course, because that's not what this is about. It has to show an actual skill, and you get to be unique doing it. I love that I get to be unique. And I even love when I see other people following the same similarities of what I do. Because even if you like, look, I've seen people copy my work. Fine, that's fine. You can copy the work. The caption and what you do after you get the person's attention is going to make you unique. You can copy my work, but you can't copy my story, and you can't copy my funnel, and you can't copy my flow. Can you get a person's attention? Fine. But what you do afterwards is going to get your results. So I love it. I love it when I see a person at least doing their best to try something new in order to build their story around it, right? What I did in the very beginning, look, I'm going to tell you the process of how I do this, because I want people to understand how to build it rather than just simply copy and paste. If you copy and paste and something takes off, you're not going to know why it took off. So you're not going to know how to replicate it, right? I've seen it happen. A person goes viral using that content, and then they just go right back down because they don't even know how I created the content. So I'm going to tell you how to create the content. So if I want to get better at stuff, like a movie critic, if I want to become a movie critic, then the first thing that I have to do is go watch movies, right? And then after that, I have to give my opinion on the movie, and it has to be very simplistic. I think the movie was good. I think the movie was bad. If the majority of people agree with that opinion, then I know I'm on the right track. I could be like, hey, a majority of people agree with my opinion. Once I do that enough times, then I can go, I think the movie was good, but here's what I would change. And then I have to see if people agree with my changes. If they don't agree with my changes, then I know that I might not be doing very well. So I have to go back to the drawing board and work on my changes. So if I were to roll this into copyright, if I want to inspire or motivate people, the very first thing that I need to do is I need to surround myself with high tier inspiring and motivating accounts and words that make me feel a certain way. And if they make me feel a certain way, the question is, can I share that and get people to agree that these words are awesome, that these words inspire, that these words motivate? Once I do that and I get views tell me that people agree, then I can go ahead and go into my caption. My caption is now my story. I got you because you agree that the movie is good. Here is my review of the movie, right? So if I use something that says the type of tired that I was, couldn't be cured by sleep. Like people can be like, wow, what is that? What does that mean? Right? Views, great. People like it. But now I have to make sure that people actually trust what I'm saying or resonate with me. That's going to go into the caption, right? My story. So how does this have anything to do with me, right? Working 80 hours a week. Yeah, I was tired. Doing this. Yeah, I was tired. Digging holes. Yeah, I was tired. But I could sleep and feel better about that. The tired I was tired of being a bad husband, tired of being a shit dad, tired of being not boom. Can I make it worth that thing? Now, I have to be strategic and say the only way I'm going to know if people like my caption is by putting a CTA at the end. So somewhere in there, I say at the very end of that story, I'll say, look, if you're any kind of tired that I was, just comment this. I'll reach out. I'll do my best to help you at least get on the same path that gave me some answers. And if I can get all these commenting the thing at the very end of the caption, I now know that I'm getting better at copyright. I'm getting better at resonating. If I don't get a lot of comments, back to the drawing board. I get a lot of views, I'm good on content. I don't get a lot of comments, I'm bad in the caption. I know where I'm wrong. But if I don't know what I'm doing and I don't get any comments, but I get a lot of views, I'm going to think it all sucks. And I'm just going to go right back into trying something new. And I'm going to miss that I was actually good at something, right? Now, if I get good at the caption, I can start just creating my own stuff. I've surrounded myself with A+ material long enough that even when I create my own stuff, it might not be A+, but because it's always been high tier surrounding it, it might be B+ compared to everything else when I start creating my stuff, right? And that's the great thing about this, but I can't do it unless I tested myself, and I have to be okay with not getting the results that I was always expecting to get. It needs to be a learning, it needs to be a learning session. People just don't get results and they automatically assume then everything sucks and I must try something new. And they don't take it for what it is, which is, if it's good, you'll get this. If it's bad, you'll get this. And that just means that you got to keep trying until you get this. They just jump to the next thing and they go, no, I got to do speaking content then. It must be that. And it's like, why does it have to be that?
Yeah.
Like, you could be good at this and you're not even giving yourself a chance. So
let me come back and recap this, because that was what you just dropped there, was both mechanics and dynamics, and it was really powerful. And I want to make sure that everybody got that, to understand, if you're brand new to this and you're just trying to understand the concepts, here's what it is. If you're, searching for more, trying to understand the dynamics of what Sean just said, that's all going to, the main concept is everything's a test, right? And you need to continue to test. But going back to the mechanics of the post, one of the things when you use B-roll or a picture on a reel is that, particularly with these reels, you have the ability throughout the reel. And what B-roll is, friends, is it's a short little clip of you doing something. Some of the most popular clips might be you just sitting on your laptop. So you sit your phone right there and you just record yourself sitting, working on your laptop. It's almost like shooting a little mini movie. You're just doing it. You're the director, the cameraman, and you're also the actor. Instead of holding the phone up and talking into it, you're just setting it off to the side and you're filming yourself do something. Maybe you're filming yourself playing with your kids. Maybe you're filming yourself washing the dishes. Maybe you're filming yourself. Maybe you have your spouse film you walking or working out or laying on the couch, okay, on your phone, right? Maybe you have to think of it like a movie scene, right? I need to film myself doing something, because I'm then going to use that clip as a short 15 or 30-second clip that I'm going to lay text over on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook. You broke down 3 parts of these posts. The first part was the hook or the headline, which I can't remember the example you gave. I was the type of tired that sleep couldn't solve. That would be the thing that they saw as they're scrolling in that first 3 seconds of the clip. Mm-hmm. In the next 5 to 10 seconds, they would see the caption with the value. So it was headline, value, and then the final thing they would see would be the call to action. Mm-hmm. So there's sort of 3 parts of this post. It's the headline, it's the value or the story, and it's the call to action. And you can change the text in a 30-second clip as many times as you want. Once that headline, you can either take that headline out and just have the text. You can move the headline up and have the headline and the value or the copy, the beef, the meat and potatoes of the post. And then you can add the call to action down at the bottom. The point is that you want to give them only one thing to read at a time, mm-hmm. right? That I think is very key. And that's really something that, I've also practiced in. You look at one of my sales videos, it's not just a huge clump of text. It's not 1,000 words right on the screen for somebody to read. It's a sentence. And then that text disappears. And it's another sentence. And then that text disappears. And then it's an image with more words. And then that disappears. It's a little bit at a time for somebody to read, sort of like a book. But it's just happening in video form. Mm-hmm. What you just broke down, man, for those who really are ready for, a major kind of shift today to try something that was gold. That is gold. And then the concept of, if something's not working, if it's not getting any likes, well, I know probably the headline wasn't catching their attention. Or if it's not really getting any comments or views, if it's not getting any views, it's probably the value or the content was not really it didn't resonate. If
Mm-hmm.
I don't get any comments, then just the whole thing didn't hit the target. It just missed the mark. I need to shift. I need to adjust. And the marketplace will give you that feedback. That's one of the things that I think is so powerful that we miss, is that we're oftentimes looking for like some guru or somebody to tell us, exactly what to do. But what's better, what's more powerful is to understand the concept, try it, and let the marketplace tell you what they like. They will tell you instantly. You can have feedback from the entire marketplace within minutes of posting it out there. I mean, you post it, come back in an hour, you'll either have no views, no comments, no likes, or you'll have some engagement. And the marketplace will tell you right there, hey, I either like this didn't resonate at all with me, or I loved this. And now it's like, oh, okay, I got tons of views, I got tons of likes, but not a whole lot of comments. Maybe the call to action wasn't very clear.
Yep.
Maybe it wasn't a good bait. What I was giving away in exchange for them to comment wasn't powerful, right? If I just say comment below without telling them what they're going to get to comment below, nobody's probably going to comment. People don't like to comment. People are always asking, what's in it for me?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm not getting any comments, I'm not giving something away valuable enough in exchange for that comment. They don't really either want it or know what it is that I'm offering. So I need to be more clear, and I need to have something more valuable to give away that I'm going to send them once they comment. That was brilliant. That breakdown of those three kind of, parts of a wordless post is brilliant. And it's so, what's striking me right now is how simple, not easy, because we have to overcome all of the stuff that you just talked about for the last 20 minutes mentally, but how simple it is, man, to get a damn message out there nowadays. If we're just willing to just press post, if we're willing to put a little bit of effort and energy into being creative, in trying and failing forward. And you outlined so beautifully how you have become more creative by getting inspiration from other people. This is just a masterclass, Sean. What else would you add to this that's important, maybe in terms of the follow-up? And once somebody is engaged, what could somebody do to differentiate themselves? What could somebody do, or what should somebody do once somebody does comment, or people do comment, or a post goes viral, God forbid, and they have tons of comments? How do they actually take advantage of those?
Yeah, and that's the thing too. And I just want to make sure, because you broke it down really nicely. Everything that I do, I do for a reason. If I make a post, I do it for a reason. Like, even if I make a joke, if I make a stupid joke and people are like, I don't understand how you make money, man. All you do is just make jokes. Yeah, I'm doing it for a reason. And if you don't see it, that, like, I like that. I like when a person doesn't know how I make money. When they look at my account, they're like, I just don't understand. You never talk about money. I'm like, yes, thank you. I love it, because that means I'm doing something on the back end. That means I engage somebody in the back end. That means everything that I'm trying to do is working, and I get to have that conversation, right? So, like you had said, if I'm not getting views, then the hook is not getting you. So I know that I don't have to worry about anything down the road. I just have to focus on this first. I got to get views first. And then if I get views, then I can work on the caption. And if I'm not getting comments, something's going on in the caption. If I'm getting a lot of comments, but I'm not getting conversions, then something's going on in the DMs or my funnel or something, right? So now that I'm getting comments, and now that I got views and I went viral, I'm not getting any conversions. What's happening? Well, obviously it must be in this part. And it allows me to stress about the right thing instead of everything. And that's the issue. Everyone stresses about everything, and they're missing the forest for the trees. They're like, it must be my funnel. I'm like, no one's even clicking on your damn funnel. You know what I mean? It must be my opt-in page. Well, you got a lot of emails, but you're not getting any conversions. So it must not be your opt-in page, right? So when it comes to all these comments, look, I'm not against anything. Like I see a lot of people doing like chat GPT or mini chat or whatever, right? Like I see the pluses and I see the minuses in a lot of things, right? For me, I don't use any of those things because I don't, as helpful as they are, and I'm sure that they are, and I'm sure I will use them down the road, right? Down the road. But right now, I don't want to use something unless I know for sure how to do it myself. I don't want to hand off the work for something unless I know it's actually worth handing off, right? Just like if you're going to hire somebody to do something, if you don't even try to attempt it, you're not even going to know if that person's worth their money. You don't know if you're getting swindled. So the same thing happens with ManyChat or any of these things. When I get a ton of comments, I can do the basic thing where back in the day, people would just be like, link in bio, link in bio, link in bio, right? What I used to do back in the day before I got any type of virality was, because I didn't get a lot of people clicking my stuff, I actually had a chance to do an actual conversation and do audios and make that connection. Because if I was going to get 10 people into my restaurant instead of 100,000, then I got to make sure that I'm giving those 10 people my all, right? But if I'm going to get 100,000 people like I get sometimes, then I got to make sure that if I'm going to send a message, it's as genuine and as unique to that person as possible. I can't just simply go, all right, hey, thanks for reaching out. Let me tell you about this amazing opportunity and blah, blah. And here's the biggest thing that I will tell people. Read what you write. Opt-in pages, emails, whatever. Read it out loud. If you can't read it like it's an actual conversation, then get rid of it, because it doesn't sound like you. You're using words that you never used before. Let me tell you about this extraordinary, like, who uses these words in actual conversation? You know what I mean? So whenever I write something, caption or anything like that, I should be able to flip it up, look at you, read my caption, and speak just like this, just like we're talking right now. Because people are going to actually, if I can read it that way, you can read it that way. But if I read it and I'm like, let me tell you about this amazing opportunity that you've never, then that's how that person's going to read it. And they're going to be like, what is this? That doesn't sound like a human at all, right? And the great thing about what I do is I love actually doing stuff that is sometimes copy paste, because I get into binds and the person goes, wow, like, thank you for actually speaking to me. And I'm like, oh God, you don't know I copy pasted that sometimes, right? But that's okay, because I'm getting better at copyright. And it's also okay because I am really going to talk to the person. After that initial thing, I'm still really going to talk to that person. You got to make sure that if you're going to have that conversation, I always leave it up in two ways. Comment, and then at the very end, I always leave that option at the end of my caption that says, look, leave a comment. I'll send you all the helpful tools that I have. I'll reach out to you. I'll help guide you if I can, right? But at the very end, I'll say, look, but if you don't want to talk to me, just go to the link in my bio. Go grab what I have for free. At least then I know that if they're reaching out to me, the one thing that I don't have to send them is the link in my bio. Because if they read this entire paragraph and left a comment, I think it's safe to assume that they read one more sentence. So that allows me to have an actual conversation. Don't get me wrong, I'll still bring up the things that I have, right? But it allows me to dig a little deeper and go a little further in that conversation and say, hey, you know, like, let me at least help you with something here. Like, obviously we resonate on some point. So, you know, these are the things that helped me get started when I was super skeptical, right? And that's the thing that I put in that message. I don't say, hey, this is an amazing opportunity. I always deal with, I know you're skeptical, you know, like, holy crap, I was the same way, because I have to continue with that. You resonated with me in the caption. Why would I try to sell you in the DM? Why would I not continue down that road of, look, man, I understand where you're at. You know, it's easy to get lost in big numbers. Super skeptical. At the very least, do yourself a favor. Go look at some of these options, and I'll give, you know, this or that. And I'll go look at some of these options. Go make sure that if you're going to give something a try, you don't just jump into the deep end hoping that you don't drown. You know what I mean? Yeah. And if you have any questions, come back to me. If you have any questions now, send them my way. once again, like if I copy paste that, it has to feel like a real conversation. And most of the times, the responses I get are just like, thank you, I'll look into it right now. And I'm telling you, Dave, I test this shit out. All right. Like if I open up my computer and show it to you, it is filled with testing stuff. I'm having my best months now because I had my best month in January because I had my worst month in December. And for some people, that's not going to make any sense. All right. I had my worst month in December, and I know why. Why? Because I stepped away from all these things that I was doing to test out new things in hopes that it can help free up time and I could put my time into other things that could help my business. And what it showed was it blew up my business come January. And now I know, holy crap, you know what? You know, when you get a viral video, you better start doing this, and this. You know what I mean? Here's the way I look at it too. Viral videos are a bonus check. I prepare my business for the worst days possible so that when the best days come, bonus check. Too many times people are relying on their business to do the absolute best, that when it comes down to the worst part and they have a bad day or they get banned or something like that, they freak out. And they're like, I don't know how to do it. I built my business off virality. And I'm over here like, virality didn't happen for me until a year and a half down the road. By that time, I'd already made a few hundred thousand. Like, you gotta stop depending on flash in the pan tactics and start realizing that it's just you grinding the pavement that's gonna get you to where you wanna go. So the best thing that you can do is, hey, if virality happens, great. Like, welcome it with open arms. Stop depending on it. You gotta test out stuff, and you gotta give it enough time to actually determine if it's worth it or not, right? So everything that I've done, going from content to caption to now comments, I don't want to do back and forth. I don't want to continue doing back and forth, right? I want to make sure that if I get that conversation going, it's straight to the point business, right? So that I can keep posting and another video is going to go viral and I'm never ever so far behind and I'm consistently always feeling like I have to play catch up, right? So you got to get things in your mind or you got to get things on your table that are all set. I know exactly how I'm going to create my content. Regardless of what it is, I have my framework. I know exactly how I'm going to do my caption. Resonate, give you some sort of result, right? That shows me that I'm just like you, but I'm not. I flip burgers, but I don't anymore. Like, that's the thing, right? And here's the thing with the caption. I read a lot of captions. It is a bunch of word vomit. If you don't have some sort of result in there, then we're both flipping burgers and you just wasting my time. That's like me and you being like, man, fuck this job. I'm flipping burgers. I'm not going to do this anymore. Like that. And then I just go, all right, man, see you tomorrow. Or I can say, look at this money I saved up. I'm ready. I quit. I'm quitting today. And then I walk out. And then you go, yeah, we were both flipping burgers, but you're not anymore. So now I have something to look forward to. Too many captions are, flipping burgers suck. And I go, yeah. And then you go, like that. And it was just like, what the hell did I just waste my time reading? And you don't have to have a result of money. It can just simply say, man, I got so tired of doing this, so tired of doing that, so tired of doing that. And now my confidence is through the roof. Why? Because I use my weekends to excel at something. I use my weekends to challenge me, right? I'm not saying I have my weekends now and I have this dream life, but the result is I don't waste my weekends. You got to have something for me to be like, we're the same, but we're not, right? We're the same, but we're not. And too many times people always put results as it has to be money. It has to be money. No, it does not have to be money. The result can be, I get more sleep. I get to work out, right? Like anything. But if you don't know how to put it into words, which is why I tell people to do copyright, right? If you don't know how to put it into words, then you're always going to look at other people's words and be like, all they're doing is just putting money. All they're doing is just talking about the house that they bought or the car that they drive. And it's just like, You gotta work on it, man. You gotta work on it. Like, you gotta stop comparing yourselves to other people's content and start dissecting it the way that it should be dissected, and start realizing what made that content go boom. And the worst thing that I could do was look at other affiliate marketers, because all I was doing was comparing myself to them. Right? Like, I know I went on a tangent because you asked a question saying like, well, what do you do after you get the comments? What happens when you go viral or whatever? What happens when I go viral is I do my best to talk to every single person and give them everything that they want, but I also make sure that it doesn't stress me out and push me too thin. So when I go viral, I look at it as another opportunity to make a very good conversation happen all in one. Just like the caption, and I want you to take action with a comment, the same thing happens in the DM. Can I put something in this DM that says, hey, look, at the end of the day, I know it's a lot of words. Do yourself a favor. At least go watch this video by Dave. At least go watch it. This is what I took to get me started, not to get me where I am. Just go look at what got me started and then ask me questions. Like, I'm not asking you to finish the race. And that's the biggest problem. People are jumping to the end and then they're mad and they're like, why didn't they get the thing? It's because you jumped to the end. Like, just get them to say, can you just take the first step and then just tell me how the shoe felt? You know what I mean? Like, can you do that? And that's a baby step for you. That's a baby step for you. You're allowing yourself not to get overwhelmed with the end result too. Because like I said, everyone's focusing on, I didn't get the big commission. Yeah, because you talked about the damn thing. Like, why would you even bring that up? They don't even know what affiliate marketing is, and you're talking about something that costs thousands of dollars. Why would you do that? Like, the first thing is, do you even know what any of this is about? That's the first question you should be asking. So, I don't know. Sorry, Dave, I talked a lot.
Love it. I was getting ready to stack hats here. I mean, I'm looking if there's any more hats. I mean, I there was a lot of value in mindset and just concepts that were tangible, but also application, but also kind of philosophy there, and this is 2 years, friends. For those of you who are sitting here maybe new, this is 2 years of Sean eating, sleeping, breathing this stuff, to where now, at the beginning, you're consciously, everything has to be forced, everything is hard. And when you stick with it, you can unconsciously just flow about this stuff. You can rant about it. You can rave about it. You can go on tangents about it. You also can channel your emotions about it. It's part of you. You're passionate. What you're watching right here. And I was just listening, thinking, look at how passionate he is. Like, look at just like, you know what I mean? Like, have you ever talked about like line electrical work the way that you just ranted like that? You know what I mean? Like, and I wonder if any of you have ever talked about like your previous work or your job now, the way that Sean just did for the past 15 or 20 minutes in over this last hour. That's called passion. And this is a man who came in, as he explained, void of passion. And the word you used was an empty shell. Was not passionate about, had lost passion. And I think there's even darker parts of your story that somebody will have to come to, maybe a mastermind or maybe the follow-up episode. I mean, look, I know that you've scratched rock bottom. You've experienced that before. And now to hear you so passionate and talking about this stuff so fluently, so clearly, it's a testament to what's possible, how somebody's life can be invigorated, not just when you do this and become passionate about this. Friends, we encourage you to, if this resonates, learn these skills, learn them here, learn them somewhere else. maybe you'll become this passionate about like freedom and marketing and owning your schedule, because this is about much more, as Sean said, than just making money. But my hope is that each one of you this morning get inspired to become passionate about something again, to tap into that childlike intrigue, that creativity. If you are living your life in a state right now of hopelessness, or of not wanting to get up and attack the day, constant stress, man, don't stop until you find something that you're so passionate about that you can talk about it for 20 minutes straight and drop nugget after nugget and actually communicate real wisdom from your experience. And Sean, if this was all handed to you, I know it wouldn't feel as good to talk about. But because you've worked your ass off for the past 2 years, testing, trying, tweaking, screwing up, failing forward, and you and I, somebody said, Sean's awesome. He should be a mastermind speaker. Sean's been at multiple masterminds. Sean's been a speaker at multiple.
I've been in attendance. Yeah, I've gone in there and been in the audience.
Sean's come as a student, just sitting in the audience. Sean is there. Sean has not only gone through challenge blueprints, but, done all soaked up education and learning anywhere he can, but he's got on trains, planes, and automobiles to travel, to learn, to sit. They're hearing the glory today, not really fully understanding the story and what you've done, the work that you've put in over the past 2 years. I know it. I mean, you and I just sat at the bar in the mansion just, a few months ago, talking about life, just talking about some of the challenges being a man, some of the things that are, come along with this, because you don't stop being a man. You don't stop being a dad. You don't stop being a citizen just because you're having success online. But man, to know that you're this passionate, this successful, while also striving to be a better man, better husband, better dad, and knowing where you came from, brother, it's not just a hat throw. It's a hats off to you, man. It's a hats off to you, brother. Keep up the great work. We're at the top of the hour. We could talk for another hour, but I want to leave something to be desired for those who are here. If you want to follow Sean, learn more from him, hear more from him, some of this amazing, legendary male energy. They've been shouting that out left and right. Love the male energy. Well, hey, we've got a lot of awesome dudes. Sean is just he's really awesome. And I appreciate your time today, brother. Stay legendary. Keep up the great work. And it's been just a pleasure to catch up.
Thank you so much, Dave. And real quick, I want you to understand all this passion too. I didn't say a single thing about how much money I made. I'm passionate because I started this not to make money. The reason why I started this was not to make money. So that's why I'm so passionate about it, because the results I got have nothing to do with the money. So I want people to understand that. Like, I'm passionate because of all the things that I've been able to accomplish outside the dollar amount. So I want to thank you. Like, I always say that whenever I see you. And the one thing that I always try to do whenever I do see you is not talk about business, because I don't want to talk about business. I hate business. I want to talk about the things that this business has given me. That's why I love talking about family and everything with you, because like that is what you gave me. So I really appreciate that. And thank you so much for having me on. I love it when I get to talk to you, and if I can help anyone else out, let me know.
Sounds good, my brother. Well, listen, back at you. Love to talk and chat and catch up and connect. And so thanks for being a part of my life, and we'll catch up soon. Okay.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
All right, buddy. See you.
Bye.
All right, my friends, you can find, you can follow, you can learn, you could lift up, you could support, you could comment, you could like, you could watch, you could all the things. Sean Sarantos over on Instagram. It's Sean_Sarantos, SEAN_SARANTOS. Sean_Sarantos over on Instagram. My friends, Mamma Mia, Papa Pia. I mean, if that ain't a hat throw, if you ain't at your house right now throwing, hats and desks and chairs and pillows and your own damn hats and just, I mean, my Lord, let's check that pulse, because I'm ready to run through a wall here. The passion is infectious. It's so inspiring to see a guy who came from nothing, from an empty shell, to the passion that he has, the success that he's experienced, knowing that he's just at the beginning of his journey, as we all are. I mean, God, it's amazing what can be accomplished, and how much more life you can live, and how much more life you can live when you become passionate and find something that gives you a reason to be a child, to dream again, to learn again, to be creative again, to be a student again. I think one of the most true words and phrases that I've ever said is, when we stop growing, that's when we start dying. And doesn't have anything to do with your physical growth, growing taller. Lord knows we all stop growing taller. Most of us start growing wider at a certain point. It's growing here. It's growing here, right? They say the longest journey a man will make is from his head to his heart. Some of us, we do that in the second part of our life, or the second or third chapter of our lives. This is a process and a journey that helps you to grow again, to do something that's hard, to do something and that was so much of what Sean talked about today, was go where it's hard, go where it's difficult, go where it's not easy, do things that challenge you, make your weaknesses your strengths. Don't just stay in complacency. Man, that was powerful. This whole episode was powerful. Meet us back here tomorrow for another episode of Wake Up Legendary. It just keeps getting better and better every day. We've had many returning guests on this weekend, or this week as well. You never know who's going to show up. If you want to get a text message reminder every morning when we go live at 10 a.m. Eastern time, text WUL to 813-296-8553. Again, WUL to 813-296-8553. And if you want to get started with our 15-day challenge, our blueprints, come to a mastermind, go to legendarymarketer.com/enroll, ENROLL, enroll, legendarymarketer.com/enroll. And we'll see you on the inside. We'll also see you back here tomorrow for another episode. Get out of here. Stay legendary. Peace.